We know, the House is going to investigate Hunter Biden, and they're looking into this influence peddling scheme that may involve Joe Biden as the big guy getting 10% of whatever Hunter managed to get, dealing with the Chinese, dealing with Ukraine, and so on. So that's happening. But it does raise serious questions because we know Hunter was in the House where those documents were kept. And nobody who's got any sense at all trusts Hunter Biden not to do something nefarious, not to do something illegal. Nobody, if you've been paying any attention at all. And that's why you've got the House Oversight Committee chairman giving an interview to Maria Bartiromo over at Fox, James Comer, Republican of Kentucky, saying the following. This has gone from just simply being irresponsible to downright scary, saying we really need to know who had access to those documents in the Biden home because this is an ongoing investigation for influence peddling. And so now it's starting, as I've been saying all along, you can't get Biden out of running for a second term or out as the nominee because he had a couple of documents that are classified. You know, that will, I believe, stop the Trump prosecution, but I didn't see it as a big political problem for him. But if you enlarge the circle to who had access, was it intentional, were they used in an improper manner, totally new ballgame.
Yeah, you look at the emails that were found and publicized on the laptop, and they're semi-literate. And then Miranda Devine quotes or produces this 13,000 word email that is very elegant and detailed and is informed about all of the geostrategic implications of sanctions and what would happen in Ukraine vis-a-vis Britain and Russia, and it's not even written by him. You can tell it's not. So maybe he was reading The Economist or something. Who knows? But you can't make an allegation without absolute proof. But all the FBI has to do is take 5 sentences and run them through an electronic search of all the classified documents. And if that word and that phraseology turns up, I think they're done with, because that shows you a deliberate intent and to use government documents for personal profit. And so I think they're very scared. They're not scared about the documents per se. They're scared that what's on the documents and why they were taken, and Hunter's role in all of this, and why the Ukrainians would hire this guy when he was such a liability, even though his father had been vice president, might be a presidential candidate. But when you read that long email that Hunter wrote to his associates, it sounds as if he's John Bolton or somebody, hypotheticals, what if, but very detailed and very exact with a lot of knowledge. And it's not typical of what is in that trove.
On the subject of was it intentional or not, here's just a little bit of how the White House sounds on this issue right now, the distinction they're trying to draw. I guess this is where they're going. We've been wondering, how are they going to try to land this? How are they going to try to distinguish this? And of course, Trump's case is different. He submitted a signed affidavit or declaration, same thing, from a lawyer saying all documents had been returned when, in fact, now we're told they hadn't been. He hasn't been afforded the chance to defend that claim in court yet. Just know what we read in the papers. But here is the new line of defense from Karine Jean-Pierre. This is soundbite 3.
We are confident that a thorough review will show that these documents were inadvertently misplaced.
The Biden approach was very different in the sense that it looks, as far as we can tell, that it was inadvertent.
This was just an inadvertent matter of filing, in sharp contrast to his predecessor.
So none of that is relevant legally, not even a little. The law does not care whether you did it accidentally or intentional. So they must think that this somehow helps them, does it?
No, when you look at the pictures next to the Corvette of these lopsided boxes that are askew, and you think that's an inadvertent filing. It's just somebody had a bunch of stuff and threw it in the garage, and then it appears in a library, it appears in another room, it appears everywhere. And I don't even think and it appears at the Biden Center. And where was it before? How did it get? There's a kind of a chain of passage where we don't know how it gets to the Biden Center from, the classified document trove in the vice president's possession. We don't know who brought them there. Lawyers obviously didn't bring them there. So it wasn't just inadvertent, it was deliberate. And they wanted to take them out. And they floated, if you remember, at the very early when the news first broke, they floated this trial balloon that said Joe Biden was really rushed and it was chaotic when he left the vice presidency, or he was at the time engaged writing his memoirs and they've tried everything and then they sort of quiet down. But I think the more that the details come out, the more concerned they really are. And they're paranoid that Joe Biden took these things out and he examined them and he either informed Hunter about some information on them, or Hunter had access, either knowing access from the vice president or Joe Biden when he was a private citizen, or he just took them and read them because, and it was not inadvertent.
Well, and here's the thing: if you look at what they're saying, the last tranche of documents to have been found, and we don't know how many are in there, include documents from when he was a senator, as you point out, 15 years ago. Now, my understanding is if you are a senator, you don't get to look at classified documents without the person who's got the clearance, who's there as the security enforcer, coming to you, showing you the document, and taking the document back and then walking away. You don't get to keep it for homework. You don't get to ride on the train home to Delaware perusing it as a Senator Biden. And so that raises real questions. How many of those were there exactly? And how did he get documents out of these secured facilities and out of the watchful eye of the person overseeing them back when he was a U.S. Senator? How is that consistent with the, as you know, I take these documents very seriously, I take classified information very seriously line?
It isn't. The only defense that Joe Biden has that's credible is that he's non compos mentis. In other words, he's not cognitively aware of things, and they kind of use that. So if you have a president that shakes hands with an imaginary person or doesn't addresses somebody who's dead, and then the person said, well, I didn't know anything, that's a compelling argument, but that's the only one. And they haven't quite made it yet. If they were smart, they would say, as you know, Joe Biden is cognitively impaired. Therefore, you can't hold him to be responsible because he has no idea where he is. And he has no idea where his house is. So
everyone would believe that.
They would. And they may resort to that. But, another thing is that you're not supposed to comment on an ongoing investigation. So here you have Joe Biden, and before the special counsel is appointed, and Joe Biden's DOJ and Merrick Garland and the FBI, and he's asked on 60 Minutes, and he says it's totally irresponsible. In other words, he's tried and convicted Donald Trump of being irresponsible, and it's impossible to imagine when we don't really know the degree to which some of these documents were declassified, and it's being adjudicated. And then when he talks about himself and there's an ongoing investigation, what does he say? He says there's no there. So you can't have the president of the United States editorializing about respective ongoing investigations. We should also remember, Megyn, that the subtext of the first impeachment was that Donald Trump used his office as president to delay aid, which was granted and which had not been approved, in fact, by Obama. It's much more generous to Ukraine than the Obama people did. But he delayed that for personal interest by harming or investigating a potential Democratic rival to himself. That's what the writ said, that he was punishing the Bidens, or he wanted them investigated because Joe Biden would be a candidate in 2020. That's exactly what Joe Biden is doing. He's been investigating Donald Trump on these allegations, and he's commenting on it when he knows that Donald Trump was now a confirmed candidate for president of the United States. So it raises all these symmetrical questions, and it's just not a fair application of the law, whatever you think about Trump or Biden.
After a busy holiday season, now's the time to make time for you. For you, think of that. Whether you want to refresh your fitness routine or you just want to enjoy some relaxation, a Michael Phelps signature swim spa by Master Spas can be something you enjoy now and for the seasons to come. Making time for yourself, even if it's a 20-minute swim or sitting in the hot tub seats in a Michael Phelps swim spa, can be incredibly beneficial to your mental health. And that is what Master Spas is all about, helping you live life better. A Michael Phelps swim spa combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. It comes in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Exercising in the water is a great way to include physical activity into your daily life. It's fun. And it's really kind of easy. I mean, you can make it hard, but you can do this in a way that's kind of easy exercise and convenient exercise for you. And that's true whether you're a beginner or a fitness enthusiast, because you can crank it up. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. A Michael Phelps swim spa is energy efficient. You can use it all year long. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK to save $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. Masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.